Hey guys, welcome back to the first Collingwood review on the channel. Today I'll be reviewing Collingwood's great win against Geelong that occurred last night. So yeah, let's get straight into the review. So yeah, heaps to take out of the game. Obviously we got the job done by 22 points. Absolutely massive for our season, and some good revenge on the Cats from last year's qualifying final and round 3 when we played them last year. Now, we played very, very well in this game. I was very, very impressed. We are looking very, very good, very, very damaging. And yeah, I can't wait to see what we can do this season because, like I told you guys, I reckon we're contenders. I reckon we can win this thing. And, well, we've beaten Geelong, which is a great start, of course, but we've still got a little bit to go, of course. You know, there's other teams that have a big chance, like Melbourne and Sydney and even Carlton. So we still got to prove that we can beat these top teams, and that's an amazing start. And the fact that it was a thriller, but we were able to get away with a comfortable margin in the end was very, very, very nice to see. Now, 22 points, great margin to win by. Finally did something good. But yeah, let's get into the stats. So there was heaps of players that were good. There was a few that were a little bit disappointing and a little bit underperforming, which isn't amazing, but we can get them into games next week. I'll start with the underperforming players. I guess the first one was Dan McStay. 6 touches, 1 goal. He needs to improve on that because that's just not good enough. But I'm not complaining because we got the job done. And even my check, he only kicked 2 in a game where we kicked about 18, 19 goals. So, very, very unexpected. But, yeah, the Geelong's defence is a very, very good defence. Radigalee had a day out on McStay. Sam de Koning played quite well on my check for most of the game when he was out there. I think he kicked a goal when he was injured. So, technically, if de Koning was out there, he probably would have only gotten the 1. So, yeah. But that's it for the underperforming players. Only 2. Now for stars. Bobby Hill. 3 goals on debut for the Pies. He was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Played very, very well. Very, very damaging player. And if he does that again next week against Port Adelaide, I literally cannot see Jack Ginnivan replacing him. I don't know where Jack Ginnivan's spot on the side is anymore now that we got Bobby Hill. Another bunch of players that were brilliant. John Noble, he's had an amazing pre-season. He looks ready to go. He was brilliant in this game and got heaps of the footy. Hopefully he can keep doing that throughout the season because, yeah, he's a great player. Jordan Ngoe, of course, absolutely brilliant. He was huge. Tom Mitchell had 11 to 12 clearances for us. It was massive for us and one of the big reasons why we were able to win comfortably. Scott Pendlebury, of course, he was amazing. Kicked a goal, 27 touches, got his hands on it, which is good to see. Nick Dacos and Josh Dacos, of course, were very, very good, as you would expect from them. Jack Crisp had a quiet start to the game, but worked his way into it and played a very, very, very good second half. So I was very, very happy to see Jack Crisp do that. Brendan Maynard was very, very good, and he was very, very good in the second half. Oscar Elliott was very, very impressive. I wasn't expecting him to play the way he did at all. A bit of a defensive wing to forward role for him. But yeah, it was pretty good. Sidey, of course, was very, very good. Cameron and Cox were good in the ruck. Adams kicked a goal, played majority forward. So the rotation with Mitchell didn't happen as much in this game, but it probably will happen next week just to give Mitchell more of a break and maybe more of a game up forward. And of course, Darcy Moore. Darcy Moore is just a champion. The captain, he was brilliant in this game. Absolutely brilliant. I did a few things wrong at the start. Of course, we did not start well. Zach Tui kicked the opening 2 goals through big errors from John Noble and Darcy Moore. But the really, really good thing was they were able to brush it off, come back, and they were one of our best in the end. And that's a learning effort. And even Nick Dacos, he made some mistakes, but all he's going to do is learn from them and become an even better player. But yeah, absolutely great to beat the Cats. Round 1, it feels amazing. It feels like we're on top of the world at the moment. Hopefully we can continue our, I don't know, good little patch that we've come out of from last year too. Now, realistically, we should beat Port. Of course, they haven't played their opening game yet. They're playing today against Brisbane at home. But yeah, it'd be very, very interesting to see what they can do, especially seeming we have them next week in a pretty big game. But yeah, that was all the good news. Now the bad news. Jeremy Howe. Yeah, very, very sad. Very, very frustrating for him. The fact that he had to go out like that. In the end, it turns out he's fractured his forearm, which is not good. But yeah, he was in a massive amount of pain. As soon as I saw the injury, I knew that he had broken it. It was that bad. The way he landed and everything, he was in so much pain. I knew straight away that he'd broken something in his arm, and turned out to be his forearm. And I guess the amazing moment was when all the boys just came over to him and pat him on the back. Like that's what you want to see in footy. Like that's the greatness of our game. All the boys coming over, respecting him, knowing that he's got a serious injury and probably won't be back till the second half of the season. Absolutely amazing. And Darcy Moore's resilience after the game to that too. Absolutely brilliant. Also, I want to shout out to Jeremy Cameron too. He didn't leave the game as he thought he might, but got over to Jeremy Howe, which is great to see, Jeremy, because, you know, it's a big game. It's a big sport. You're going to get injuries. And yeah, Jeremy's very, very respectful of that. And that was great to see. Some of the Geelong boys too. And now I've saved the best moment to last. Ollie Henry. My goodness. You can argue he had a day out against us. Or you can argue that whenever he got the footy, there was boos. There was mistakes from him. And we were brilliant on him at times. But we let a few slip. I think he kicked 2 to 3 goals. I think it was 2 actually. Of course, he missed an easy one from the boundary. I mean, it wasn't that easy, but it was fairly easy. But the amazing moment was when Darcy Moore was able to run him down on the goal line. I was absolutely pumped after that. I was screaming my head off. It was an absolute miracle. The atmosphere after it was amazing. And yeah, that really sparked it up for us, I feel like. And yeah, ever since Jeremy Howe went out with that injury, we managed to kick 8 unanswered goals. Bobby Hill was brilliant in that passage too, and De Goey kicked 3 as well. He was absolutely amazing. I can't wait for De Goey. He's going to have an amazing season. And yeah, just try and beat us at the moment. We look amazing. I guess the only disappointing thing is didn't tip us, which was unfortunate. I didn't think we had what it takes round 1. I thought Geelong might come back and shock us. But of course that didn't happen, and they just had no answers. And the fact that a team's knocked off Geelong round 1, the game straight after they won that premiership by 80 points, absolutely amazing. And last things last, it was a great game, and you've got to be respectful in these types of games. So yeah, Geelong rep. It's good to get some revenge, but yeah, don't get too pissed off that we'd won, because you guys played quite well as well, and you're gonna have a pretty good season. Still expecting you to become minor premiers, but yeah, lots and lots to be excited about. So yeah, join me next week where I'll be reviewing our match against Port Adelaide.